On this channel, I talk about using conscious guidance and control to change your posture for the better. That phrase, conscious guidance and control, can sound like just a bunch of words, but what it means is actually fairly simple. Really, what I'm talking about is thinking about how you perform movements and gestures. We all, to some degree, use conscious guidance and control. For instance, maybe you play a sport, and you've learned a specific stance that you use when you play the sport. You have a conscious conception of the stance that you've practiced, and that you then implement while playing. The conscious guidance and control that I'm talking about is like that, except it's something we apply more generally. While most people have a handful of specific conceptions that they use in certain specific situations, the system I teach is about having general conceptions that you can use all the time in various situations. I'll go right to an example. Let's say you're going to carry something in your hand. Many people will carry things in a way that their elbow comes back and in towards their body. They don't do this on purpose, that just feels like the right way to carry something to them. If you're familiar with this channel, you'll know I've spoken many times about how we want to point the tip of the elbow out away from the body. That this common habitual turning of the entire arm that most people do produces narrowing of the shoulder blades and narrowing of the musculature of the upper back, which ultimately makes the fascia less taut. But you could carry the object in a different way, where the elbow points out. All you have to do is use your conscious mind to direct yourself into making that movement. This change won't only affect the arm, it will also have an effect on the torso. An objection someone might have is they'd say that having the weight of the arm and object closer to the center of the body makes it easier to carry. It's true that it would be more work to carry the object way out to the side of the body. But it's not true that turning the elbow back and in, which again makes our fascia less taut, is the more efficient way to bear a weight like this, since you're losing out on all the elastic resistance you could be getting from your fascia and muscle when they're lengthened. Now, if you're very used to shortening and narrowing your back to carry something, it will likely feel more comfortable for you to do what's habitual. But constantly making these habitual movements that reduce the tautness of the fascia is what is creating the seemingly permanent bad posture that can be seen in most people. Conscious guidance and control is about using your mind to decide to use your body in a way that makes sense. In this case, it means using the arm in a way that produces widening of the back, so that the fascia and muscle can work together. The way that we actually change our posture in the long run is by changing how we perform basic gestures like this. We can look at more complex gestures like sitting down into a chair or playing a musical instrument, but even something as basic as carrying something can be done in a rational way that allows the body to function properly, or it can be done mindlessly in a way that strengthens our bad habits. The difference is that you have to use your mind to move in an intentional way. Many people ask, well, will these movements eventually be automatic so that I don't even have to think about them? I don't even have to give myself the direction to point the tip of the elbow out as I carry something? But in my view, that's not really the thing to desire. It would be better to be so good at thinking when you use your body that it no longer seemed like a burden to think. We are capable of thinking about multiple things at once. We are also capable of thinking about multiple movements at once. Since most people are not used to thinking about their movements much at all, it can seem like a lot of work to think about your movements at first. But it doesn't have to feel that way. And that's really the skill that I'm trying to teach here, the ability to easily think about what you're doing, without it being a burden. Changing your posture through conscious guidance and control is about training the connection between your mind and your body. The only way to gain skill at thinking through movements is to do it. You need to engage your conscious mind and guide yourself through movements and gestures. You can do it all day long because you're going to be conscious and moving all day long. The shape of your body is created by the movements that you make. If you shorten and twist yourself during your every movement, you will create a drooping, shortened, twisted posture. But if you use your incredible conscious mind to guide yourself, to make movements in a way that allows the structures of your body to function properly, you will reshape yourself towards poised posture, where you stand at your full stature.